Ja.
Ik zag zo.
Maar ik vind het.
Ja, dan laat ze Ines. Zag je dat?
Maar dat is jouw zeker.
Ik zag zo. Dus ja. Als ik leeg had, dan ben ik
Auw, ik kan het sowieso wel.
Nee, ik kan wel dit aan.
Auw.
Ouder dan eerst.
Ja. Ja.
Ja, het is ook geen idee. Ik denk dat Rijksen het zo gaat zeggen en anders doen we het gewoon.
Jullie doen maar wat. Gezellig.
Oh, en we have to say things from now on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's practice from now on.
Okay, ask me some questions.
Zijn we live?
What made you decide?
Ben ik in beeld?
Oh, we are live. Oh shit.
Okay, we do the talk in English because there's some people in the room prefer English. Welcome at this talk with Rijksen and King Faisel. And welcome at Queer Currents. Queer Currents is a event or a more festival during Pride. We started 5 years ago, and the most important reason was that at that time we were missing a lot of more content and more art and culture related programming around Pride Week. And we also experienced that there were a lot of queers who didn't recognize themselves in the gay parties or in the Canal Pride. So at that time, of course now there are a lot of things happening, but at that time it was like really poor in the programming. So we started 15 days, 15 events about queer subjects. And we continued during the pandemic. We were, every time it was exactly that there was not a lockdown, so we could do like small events. And from 15, the next year we were 21, and last year we were 65. And this year, in collaboration with a lot of people, there are 83 events. And it already started almost 2 weeks ago. So like for today there were, I don't know, we had this event, there was another event, and after this we have another event. But it's really nice that we experience that there constantly, there also now, see all new faces, that there's all the time, there's a specific audience that is really looking for and recognizing themselves in other events and big gay events. So, welcome at Queer Currents. I give the floor to you two, and a very small introduction of both of you. So first we have Rijksen, one of the 3 translators, and I think a very important person in making a lot of things visible, and what you do with children and schools. Maybe you talk about a little bit yourself. But I think like you were, the 3 of you are really groundbreaking. Mm-hmm. The things that you do to make, especially for the trans community, make things physical. And it's a short introduction. I think it's good if you do your own introduction yourself. And of course, King Faisel, one of the. Oh my God.
Did you think I was older?
Yes.
You are.
You did so much.
And of course, you are, as a big polio rapper, but I think you much more. Having your own YouTube channel, brown YouTubers. I don't know how you translate it. Brown YouTubers. So you have a lot of followers. You're very visible, and you're very out, which is I think very brave as a rapper. So it's, I don't know what this talk is going to be, but I think it's very interesting that you are going to ask each other questions. So it's up to you.
Thank you for the introduction, Kees. Thank you all for coming. So we have this deck of cards, and the idea is that each of us reads each other a question. But I do not remember who's starting, so I will just.
I didn't even know that this was. Okay.
This was a deck of cards. I actually picked right because it says it's my question. So, did we knew each other already before this talk? That's the question I have.
Like personally? Or?
Personally, I shall confess, I did not know you. You?
Same.
Did you research me?
A little bit, but I was researching you and then I fell asleep and then in the morning I started. No, not because of you, but I'm tired. It's Friday, I'm tired. So I did a little research. You gotta check your Instagram. And everything. So nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Yes. Yeah, I had just a little time and also before I did a little research of you and I found a lot of videos where you were eating.
Yeah.
And commenting on the world.
Yeah. Thanks.
Yes. And so but I understood that you both do music as a rapper, but you also have the brown YouTube where you very much do the YouTube thing.
Yes.
Like talking with people who are also in the world of TikTok, Insta, and
yeah, I do both. Yeah, I started with YouTube actually, and then after that I started to release my music. Actually. So yeah.
And do you also combine it? Do you make music videos or?
Yeah, well, when I release a single, I make a music video, obviously, but I try to, for example,
Yeah.
I made a song for them as well for a campaign, so I try to put the message also in my music. But sometimes it's also a ratchet song or a twerk song, but sometimes it has a message, but sometimes it's just like, yeah, get yourself a sugar daddy. That's also a nice message. But I try to keep it positive. So yeah. And you, for how long have you been doing this now?
We've been doing this for 7 years now.
Oh, 7 years.
Yes. So we started as a filmmaking, the documentary filmmaking collective. No, first we started and we were together, the three of us, Bart, Joe, and I, and we are all three trans guys, so we are the three transketeers. But we were with the three of us, and we sort of saw that in Amsterdam there was the Trans Pride, and then it was the first time there was a Trans Pride, and it was very interesting and very good that it was there. But it was for a group of people that we did not recognize as ourselves. So it was for mostly trans women, mostly from a generation above us. And we were like, those people really deserve a good party, but it's not our party. So we said together, we said like, we should organize a party, something, and we were together. We're not party planners. We're not party planners. Maybe we should make movies because that's what we are actually gone to school for. So that's where we sort of started.
Okay, cool.
And yeah, and YouTube was very like easily accessible platform to show things.
Okay.
I think you can, yeah.
Oh, Nederlands, okay. Sorry.
You can do this.
I'm going to translate now.
Yes.
How did you meet Bart and Jonah?
Yes, that's a good question. Bart Peters is the director I work with, and Jonah Lammers is the producer of us three, and I'm trained as a photographer, so I do most of the things holding the camera. Mm-hmm. But if you are with three of us, you do everything. And we met because we were going to the same parties, and we were sharing some friends, and I was in art school, and then a teacher of me said, maybe you should meet Jonah because he's also working on these themes, and then my girlfriend knew Bart already.
You had a girlfriend?
Yeah, I still the same.
Same?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we're for so long.
Yes, it's 12 years.
I love
It's
it.
nice.
Extremely
I
long.
need 12 years.
But it's very nice.
Give me some tips.
You can have
12 minutes is the longest. Okay, cool. Sorry, man.
No, it's fun. But yeah, so we sort of we knew each other from dancing, and then at some point Joe, because he's really the producer type, so he said like, okay, I need to talk to you. I have this idea. We should do this. And then he sat down with Bart, and then he organized a meeting with the three of us, and then we were like, okay, we really have to work on this project. Gonna make this documentary series about trans people in the Netherlands, but then through our eyes, so, or not through our eyes, but not like, oh, look at these trans people, it's so exotic, but more like, oh, how is your life? What do you like? What are your strengths? I'm much more focused on the person instead of the transness. Do you work with some people like regularly? Do you have a team?
Well, I have a YouTube channel with my best friend. That's the brown YouTuber.
Yes, with
YouTuber.
Kelly.
Yeah, with Kelly. And yeah, other than that, just like my management and makeup artist and stuff like that.
How did you meet Kelly?
Well, Kelly and I, we had the same management like 5 years ago, and actually we saw that there were like other creators who had like white creators, and they got paid more, but they had less followers. And one time I spoke with her about it, and then we actually connected on that part. That's why also the reason that we started our YouTube channel. And actually, we got in a lawsuit with our management because they didn't want to let us go.
Oh,
And then we saw that.
can you talk about this?
Oh yeah, I don't care. I won the lawsuit, of course. I won. Well, we won.
That's great.
So, well, actually, that made us very close because it was like we weren't allowed to post any videos, and because they were owning like the channels and everything like that. And then after everything was done with the lawsuit, we were like, let's start a channel about it. And then at first it was very serious, but after the years went on, we started eating because people like to watch mukbangs. So
Yes.
okay, and we need money too. So we did the mukbangs, but in the mukbangs we tried to talk about serious things and our lives as well. So I mostly work with Kim.
That's a great story. Okay, I will go back. Next one. So, what is a hip hop song that inspired you to start your music career? Is there such a thing?
Well,
Yes. Love it.
well, I always, when I was younger, I always thought I was Mariah Carey. So when I was singing, I was like, ah! And then
Yes.
one time a friend of mine told me, like, you're not that good of a singer. Okay, but I like to write like lyrics. Yes. And then I heard a song of Little Kim. It was called Big Mama Thing. And she starts the song with, I used to be scared of the dick, now I throw lips to the shit. I was like, yes, that's my song. And then I started to write my own lyrics, and it was all like very nasty in a way. So when
How old were you?
I was like 12 or 13, but I had a fake ID, and you know I come from a very strict family, so they were all like Muslim, and I wasn't allowed to speak my mind in a way. So I went with my fake ID to Amsterdam and go to the Rijksen, and then that's when I heard the song again in the taboo bar. I saw like the clip and everything, and I was like, oh my god, this is a sign. So that's when I started to write and make my first demos, and nobody wanted to work with me because of that. But I think that's the song, yeah.
Because they said you were too nasty, or you were just too 13.
Well, I think combination of, because I thought I was Little Kim and I lived in Detroit or something, but I just lived in Rijksen, and I went to a very Christian boys school.
Yeah.
So people were like very confused, and it was something new. So I think it was a combination of,
Is it still a favorite song of you?
Yeah, I listen to it a lot when I'm in the shower, when I'm on the toilet. It's a good song. You have to listen to it.
I will. I love it.
Is it my turn?
Yes, it's your turn.
Oh my god, I forgot. In what kind of way? So you're not laughing about the question, but I'm laughing that I have to translate it.
It's alright.
In what kind of way do the transcripteurs try to set a more positive build about the queers in the media?
So, if I understand the question, in what kind of way do the translators contribute to a positive image of trans people in the media, or just a positive image?
About queers.
Oh, about queer. Yes. Yeah. So, as I said before, one of the reasons that we started working together was these very negative and sad stories that were the only stories that you were hearing about trans people.
Mhm.
And we said like, of course, there is a part of life that is sad and hard and shit, but it's not the only part. My life is quite okay, actually quite fun. Like I also, when I see other people's lives, I also want to see the fun, and it's really something we take as a starting point also, that people are, how do you call it? People are resilient. People are like the people in the most shit situations also most likely have the best humor because they have to deal with it. So and this positivity and also this like I really believe in that you get more strength that when you laugh, get more strength when you can put things in perspective. So it's not like laughing it off or like killing it because like laughing about it, but it's more that you understand that there is it might be absurd or it might be, you can also have some self-reflection, like looking how silly I am right now. I think it's also like a icebreaker. If I can be stupid, if I can make stupid comments about myself, then somebody else can also be like, he's not taking himself so seriously. So that's really what we are, how we use humor. Yeah, and I think, and some things are really shit. Like if you look at the statistics and if you look at the, also the statistics around mental health and around suicide and around harassment, and it's really no fun. But at the same time, if I was 13 years old and you would tell it to me, then I would be like, okay, not coming out of bed anytime soon. So it's not motivating to say like the world is out there to kill you.
Yeah.
So we said like, maybe not to say it doesn't exist, but let's find the light points, the resilient points, and also the fun points, because a lot of people, if you see them and talk to them and listen to them, they have a lot of humor actually. So you just have to find it and work with it.
Cool.
I think you also work with humor a lot.
Yeah, because I feel like when you try to give a message to people, and it's always that serious. Nobody wants to listen to nothing serious in 2022. Well, at least I don't. So I think if you bring it with a little humor or a little drama, it will stick more in people's minds. I think it's
And do you really feel light about something? Because when I watch some of your YouTube things also, there is some really hard stuff in there, but you are like and laughing it off, and maybe it's very delicate, but do you really feel like it's light, or do you sometimes feel like, oh, it really hurts?
Well, a lot of stuff used to hurt me before, but now that I'm older and I just deal with stuff in my own way. So I just feel like when I was younger, I also didn't have like somebody to look up on the television or anything. And I'm just like, I want to be that person that people can see there are lots of positive things, as you said, and not only the negative things. So people think that, okay, I can come out, and of course there are negative things, but there are probably also negative things about being straight or being.
Yes, life sucks anyway.
Yes, right. So yeah, I try to do it with humor, and also the people that watch me, they like it when I joke about it more than I would sit there as if I'm Eva Jinek or something. So yeah.
I see what you mean. Okay. Take that question. Do you think that there is enough space for the subjects that you address in your rap or vlogs? And the next question is, did you create that space also? Do you understand what I say? Like the things sorry.
Well, I think it's getting there more now, but well, vlogging is much easier as a queer person from my feeling because like lots of companies wants to work with you, and yeah, music is a different world because the people in music are very hard, and especially in the rap world, people don't want to work with you and they don't want to post your music, but
And then they say it like because you are raunchy or because you are gay or what, or do they say like you're not famous enough?
well, in the beginning it was like if I wanted to work with somebody, they would just be like, they didn't respond. Now people want to work with me because I think they see that it's more like a trend because they see more people working with me. But like vlogging was very easy for me. Like I started with videos on Snapchat, and within 2 months I had like 30,000 followers, and it was very easy. And I got all of these award nominations and everything. So that I was like the same thing would happen with me for music. I would release a song, and next day would be Beyonce. But I am Beyonce. So people basically want you just to beg them to get into a playlist, or people want you to, to suck a dick or something to get on a stage at a festival, or people are so mean also. So I think there is a space, but I feel like also within like the queer community, people, they don't want to see it happen in a way, because I feel like there are a lot of like gay men who work at like labels or booking agencies, and they were just like, oh, you want to come on this festival? And then they started to, put the word messages like, come to my house and we can discuss it. And I was like, oh no, baby, no.
It's not dating.
and when I was younger, I was like, yeah, if somebody asked me if I would sleep with them, I would just do it and then have the career. But now it's like, okay, no, I'm not that person actually, even though I thought I was that person. But I think there's enough space, but I think there's still one way to go.
But what I hear is that you say that the vlogging and the music industry are very different in ways and accessibility also.
Mm-hmm.
But it is, and if you explain it right now, it's not really clear if it is about that you have a hard time getting into the music industry. That it's not clear that, or not explicit. It is about the themes of your music, or it's like why it doesn't work, or
Well,
do you think about that?
Well, in a way, it works out for me very good because, for example, like the song I made about Hepatitis B, like that was like a very big thing, and I got a lot of money, and I wouldn't get that if I was straight, So, and other rappers, they probably wouldn't get that, and they got the same amount of money from like 1 million streams.
Yeah.
And I got it on another way. So I feel like in a way it works against me, but in another way, I can go on vacation.
So but yesterday we were talking, and you said like in this week everyone calls me, and then the rest of the year it's like
Well, because I think this week I'm really realizing it, because I think pride is a good thing, but I also feel like it's like part of the marketing of a company, which in a way it is. But I feel like it's good that they do it, but like also do it in December or in January.
I don't stop being trans after this week.
Right.
Yeah.
And
No.
I am also very picky with the companies that I work with because if you want to work with me in this week, you also have to work with me in the next week. You know?
Yes.
And I don't want to be a part of the whole marketing strategy. And I'm just like posting a picture and no. So this week I'm very actually I used to like Pride, but this week I'm very angry because Pride just makes me angry because it's just this week everybody was like, oh, come to my party and you have to perform like 7 days a week. And I love to perform 7 days a week, but not only this week.
Mm-hmm.
And if stuff like this happens, I will probably get depressed because next week, okay, I have some stuff to do, but like, if you don't have nothing to do, like after a full week, you're like, what am I going to do now? You know?
Yeah.
So yeah, I love Pride, but I hate Pride at the same time.
Mm.
Since like this week. And how do you
So
feel about
if
it?
anyone needs this reminder, we are queer the whole year. No, but especially with artists and with performers, you see that it's very clear that everyone is like, oh yeah, it's this week. We
Yeah.
need to do something, and then it's like,
Yeah.
okay.
And do you feel the same way or?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's very. I mean, it's not. In a way, but because I make films, I can just send films, and I don't have to be there. I don't have to. But it is of course nice if there is an audience and we can talk. But I'm not a performing artist in that sense. So there is not a direct relationship.
Mhm.
But at the same time, I'm also feeling getting like more and more. Also thinking on a systematic level, like if I'm at a company and the company has this very nice program and there are pride flags everywhere and la la la, which is a lot of companies right now. But at the same time, like, do you have internally? Do you have a review of how is the safety and the acceptance of queer people? Do you address this issue in your hiring process? Are you also working on the issue of color, which is in the Netherlands still such an issue, and also we are still dealing with this legacy of the 90s and begin 2000s, like, oh, we are so okay with color, we do not talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
And we learned that this was not the way, because racism was still happening, but we were so okay that we did not address it. And now people are like, okay, we have to actually address it, we have to talk about it, but it's very painful and hard, and it's of course not fun if you have your matcha latte with a rainbow on it. It's such a different story, and I don't want to be sour because then I won't get out of bed as well.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like I have to be like an angry school teacher calling everyone like 2 months after Pride. So hey, how is it going?
Yeah.
How is the acceptance, inclusivity, diversity, everything really? And I should get paid for that, I think, but I have to work.
Okay.
And it's a different career also. I just want to make films.
Yeah. I want to play in films though. So.
Yeah.
Is it your turn or my turn?
I think it's your turn.
Sorry.
That's all right.
What's your ideal project for a movie or video? What does it look like?
Ideal.
Like your dream.
Yes, my dream projects. It's such a crazy story or crazy question also. I think right now we are working on this project about 40 years HIV in the Netherlands, and we are interviewing people both. We did 2 interview sessions, one with sex workers who were sex workers back then in the 80s and 90s when the HIV thing really happened here, and also with what is now Trans United, but actually was the BIPOC queer community of Amsterdam. So like the queer people which would go to the Roxy and the IT and the Havana and all these crazy areas that I have never seen because I am too young. And these stories about the beginning of the 90s, about what was Amsterdam back then, who were there, what was it like to live as a queer person, also sort of before internet. There was of course internet in a very different way. And I think I as a person am really interested in this experience and in this also because we live in the echoes of that world. So those people are now 50 something, so they are the people in power. If they are not dead, which is of course like a very sad thing, but if they are not dead, they are in power and they are like grown as adults and not like a partying people. So this is very interesting to me. It's like these people could be my parents, but they have grown up in such a different world than I do right now, but we are alive at the same time, and I really want to understand them and also work with them. And we did do last year a film, like a live stream. So like film wise, it was very simple, but we did a live stream of a dancing event of queer elders. So like from verzorgingshuizen, so really like elderly homes, and they had a dance event, a dance along. So they were having a party, and it was like I was crying so much behind the camera because there were these old men, and they were like and coming out of the wheelchair. And,
Oh, really?
oh my god! And it was like
Here in Amsterdam?
yes,
Oh, cool.
and it's called the Roze Danspaleis, and it is this party for elderly people to be queer and have a dance party.
Oh, so cute.
But it was also like these people are why I am here right now, and I can do these things. I owe them also, and so we're trying to figure out right now like how to make this work.
Cool.
Is there such a thing as a dream project for you right now?
Well,
The Bollywood movie.
well, I always wanted to do something on television or something like that. So that's something that I did, and it's coming out later this year.
Yes.
2 projects.
Can you talk about it or not?
No, because they will sue me.
Yes. Clear.
One smaller thing and one, I think, very big thing.
And after now you have done you're done filming.
Mm-hmm.
It is not released yet.
No.
But how was the experience? Did you think while doing it like, yes, I want more?
Yeah, because it was like the best experience of my life. It was wonderful because they treated me as if I really was Beyonce. Because we had to go from set to set, and they were driving us around in like these golf carts, and I had to stay there also for 2 weeks, and I had like a shower with my name on it. And I was there with like other people, which I cannot tell.
Yeah.
They will sue me. But when I left, actually, we all cried, and I'm not that person that would cry about something like that, but I was like, I don't want to go home, and my own problems, and it was a mess, but that was the best thing ever, so I hope they edit me as a nice person, not as the bitch that I was sometimes. But yeah, it was the best experience ever. So I think that was my dream project for now, and I have to find a new dream project, so I have to find a new goal.
Yeah.
New goal? A goal. So yeah, I didn't know that we were going to do this in English.
Otherwise, you have brought your little book.
Yeah, in my tool.
Sure.
So yeah.
I think I will have another question for you. What is the thing that you are most proud of as a rapper and a YouTube creator?
Well, I started the YouTube channel when I was in high school, and nobody watched except for my mom. And then I did, and everybody was like, just leave it and go to school. But I hated school so much, and I always wanted to do something like this. And then I started to make like the Snapchat videos for fun. And then one day I did a nose job, and I was like, oh, I'm going to film it for everybody. And
On Snapchat.
yeah, on Snapchat, but like the before and the after, and me going into the hospital and everything. And I actually was 17, so I wasn't allowed to do it, but I had to do it before my 18th birthday. So I filmed it, and when I got out of the narcotica,
Yes. Anesthesia.
sorry, I got like 30,000 people on Snapchat, and before I had like 400, I was like, oh my god, did I just go viral while I was getting a new nose? So then I just kept on filming every day. And everybody always told me just don't do it because how are people going to find you? And then my nose got it for me, my ugly nose. So that was a proud moment in the vlogging thing. And in music, I did like a studio session with this guy, and it was terrible. And I don't know what came out of it because I thought I was Biggie Smalls, but I also thought I was Lil Kleiner. But like a little gay and a little ratchet. And nothing came out of it. And he was like, this is not for you. But I had to find my voice still because I didn't know, what I like and what my sound would be. And then, was it last year? Last year I got nominated for the Rap Top 100. It's like a list they make, and I was the first gay rapper they ever put in the list. And the guy sent me a message. He was like, I'm so sorry, I remember that, and I'm so proud of you. And I was like, kiss my ass. Kiss my ass.
That's actually quite nice.
Yeah, it was. I was crying. Yeah, my management was crying, I think. So yeah, that was my proud moment. And for you, what was for you like a proud moment?
Yeah, proud moments.
In your career?
In my career. I think what is, it's strange. Because I have this, I don't think it's a very good habit, but I have this thing that I finish something, I'm already working on the next thing.
Mm-hmm.
So we have the premiere of something, and then it's like, oh, I'm still, what are we doing tomorrow? And I have to still arrange everything. It's terrible. We now have at our office a little sign like vaker vieren, celebrate more.
Mm-hmm.
And we put every project that's ended.
Oh, vaker vieren.
Yeah.
I thought you said something in French or something.
No.
I thought vaker vieren.
I'm fluent. No, and then we put everything like on the celebrate more, and we try to put a date and then celebrate.
Okay.
And I think what is nice is that we were at some point making videos for the GSA, the Gender Sexuality Alliance, the anti-homophobia thing that high schools organize.
Mm-hmm.
And we were at ROC in Twente, and we were there filming, and we were asking people questions like, "Oh, you are at the GSA. How do you like it? What works? How did you do Purple Friday?" And there were 3 trans guys, and as soon as we came in, they were, "Oh, we didn't know the trans tears." It was so cute, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I also." I'm so oblivious about who is watching.
Mm-hmm.
Because of course in Twente you also have YouTube. But I am not thinking about this because I am just making stuff and I'm too busy making stuff to think about the people who are watching. But at some points at that moment there was like, yeah, can we take a picture also together? And it was so nice and cute, and yeah, I show it to my mom, and they were like, oh.
Do you get recognized a lot for your videos?
Not a lot, but yes. And there was a time that I used to be also very much when we did our series with the Naked Truth, which is where we have no shirt on and we answer questions. There, so it was very much us in the picture also. And now we make our monthly vlog just to show what we are working on, but a lot of the work is about other people. So we are very much not that in the picture ourselves. And we did some media moments like at the Little Red Door and at Pau, and there it was us sitting there. So then afterwards, people were also on the streets and said, "Hey, I loved it yesterday." I was like, "Thanks, I don't know you." But it's very strange because of course it's really nice, but it's also you feel like, oh yeah, I'm very exposed, and in my little YouTube and in my little Instagram, and there are only people watching who are nice. But we have sometimes there is this big moment of exposure, and then we are in the metro or in the Algemeen Dagblad, and then it's like the comment section is like purgatory, and then we're like, okay, we don't read the comments.
Do you have TikTok?
No.
Oh my god, the people on TikTok are the worst. Oh my god.
How do you deal with that?
Um,
You have someone to read it for you?
of course, no. Well, I don't read it actually that
Okay.
much because, for example, I had like this music video and it started about something about my dad who passed away. And on TikTok, you have like the For You page. So when it goes viral, it probably goes on the For You page. But I can see in which area it went in the For You page because, no shade, but I saw like other Faisels with like different kind of Faisels and Moches, and I don't know who these people were. And they were calling me gay in every language it was possible, and like, good for you that your father has passed away, and all types of stuff like that. But usually it's all positive. But that day I was like, oh my god. But I just left it there because of all the comments, I got like 500,000 views. So I was like, oh god, keep on commenting, okay. So I don't. It used to bother me, but it doesn't bother me anymore.
Because that's really, I mean, this is like we can talk a whole evening, I think, about this, but the way that Instagram and TikTok and YouTube, all of it works is also on these emotions. Like if you have a lot of hate comments, it is gaining a lot of traction because people are watching it and people are like interacting with it, and then it's like, oh, this is a very good post. Do you want to boost this post? It's like, well,
it doesn't happen that often. So,
No.
But that day, yeah, I hear what you're saying. I just in the beginning I would just delete it.
Yeah.
But now I don't anymore. I do delete it.
And it also doesn't bother you.
No, because in real life people never say anything. Well, sometimes they do. I had it like 5 times maybe, but like I always say something bad, and I'm not scared to. I don't care who you are. Even if you're Bala, I don't care. So yeah, I don't.
And do people recognize you?
Well, yeah, but really a lot, not to be.
No, but you are also in the picture, right?
So when I especially when I'm like in Amsterdam or like in the Belmar, especially. Like my follower, they live in the Belmar, I think, or in Rotterdam, and cities like that. When I was with my nephew, and actually we never went shopping together, and like all the people came up to make a picture, and it was like, I thought you were always joking when you said people would come up to me. I was like, oh, we tried it. And people actually come to my house or to my mom's house, and like children, they climb over the gate, and my mom invites them to drink tea, and people would like paint my face, and my mom is like, I have to make a picture. It's like the hallway when you walk into the house. She has all the paintings, and everything. She put it up there, and it looks like a ghetto museum or something. It's the word, but I really like it when people recognize me. But sometimes people send me a message like, I saw you, but I didn't want to greet you because you were looking really bitchy. But I just always walk like this, and I have my AirPods in, and then when people greet me, I'm like, hey. But when you're not greeting me, I'm like, so resting bitch face. But
You're getting never tired of this so far. That's good.
No.
Because it will be
Yeah.
like this.
I don't know yet. It's been like 3 years that people like working on this. I still like it.
Great.
Is it my turn?
I think yes. How are we with time? I don't know.
I think we have another 5 minutes.
I am not in the business of time.
Okay, should we, how many questions do we have?
2.
Okay, should we do this quickly?
Do we have to finish this?
I don't know. Okay. Do you have the idea that the media landschap,
Yes.
the past year has been more toegankelijker?
Accessible.
Accessible.
So do I have the idea that the media landscape in the last years have changed to be more accessible?
Yeah.
Okay. It's very nice. I am the oracle of media landscape. Right? No, so there was this moment, I don't know if you remember, but Nikki de Jager got very violently sort of kicked out of the closet. And because she was blackmailed for somebody exposing her transgender
I didn't
identity.
know that. I thought she just.
So that's the backstory.
Oh.
And because Nikki de Jager is the woman that she is,
Mhm.
she just said, "I do it myself,"
Yeah, she should.
and which is great because.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought that she just came on.
So there was this moment, and then there was this suddenly everyone in the Netherlands, or a lot of that was the moment that I thought, okay, then the right answer, the politically correct, but also the expected answer is good for her. I like trans people. Because everyone was saying that. Like everyone was like, yeah, of course, you do you. And which is of course very nice, but it is also it did not feel representative of the rest of the transgender emancipation in the Netherlands. And the media landscape changed, yes. And the series like Anna Plus, for instance, that is being made, and also that Netflix does some take that and make a movie that is very much, I think, a sign of a at least partially changed media landscape. And at the same time, I mean, there's still so much to do, and I think the discussions I have had 7 years ago with people working in television who said, like, when we were talking about we want to make a fiction series about queer people, and then we had this conversation with the television people, and they said, "Oh, but I don't understand. Where is my standard gay person?" And we were like, "Well, it's kind of the point that there is no such thing as a standard gay person." And now, at least, I don't know what happens behind closed doors, but now at least things like Unplus are getting made. And still, it is like a special moment, which is, if you are a minority, you can of course say like, okay, we are with not, it's not the majority of people who is queer, it's not the majority of people who is trans, it's not the majority of people who have this experience, but I really like to be integrated in the stories of the news and but also of sports, also film, also superheroes, and not like this specialty events like, oh, in Pride Week we have time for you. Because you are now working 3 years as a music producer, vlogger, or more? No, more, because you said you were
Yeah, YouTube for
17 when you started the Snapchat career.
yeah. So social media like 5 years and music like 1.5 years since my first single.
And do you think that you could say something about the attitude that changed about gay rap?
In general, or
Yeah, but of how much you experienced.
well, it has changed a little bit for me because now I get to work with people more often. And in the beginning, I also didn't have like a manager or anything, and now I have like multiple options to sign with people. So I think that's a good sign. And I think people are more open now. Maybe I don't know if it's just for me or for somebody else, but people are more open to work with you and write with you or shout a video clip with you and stuff like that. So I feel like it's getting better, but it's so slowly and I can take it. That's fine. We'll get there.
And I think also because you are not the first, but you are the first.
Mm-hmm.
That also people who were like scared to be the first,
Mm-hmm.
that they don't have to be scared anymore because you are there already.
I don't know.
Don't you? Yeah.
Well,
don't you think
what
about
I
that?
did have like there was like this one rapper, like a very famous rapper in Holland, that he invited me to his house for a party,
Yes.
and there were like a lot of like rappers and singers, and everybody was in the house, and I was even shocked that they invited me, and I was like, everybody was gay.
Yes.
Like, yeah, I saw like everybody was doing something, and I was like, oh my god. I was like, okay, so well, I'm not the first.
Yes.
But well, I would call out his name, but he had like a very nice house, and I went out, and I was starstruck, not starstruck because it was like I saw so many people, and everybody was like kissing each other and doing laughing gas, and I don't know what they were doing. I was giving people doing, I was like, and I was looking at them. It was the worst situation ever. I left after an hour because I was so in shock. I was like, I have to go through all these struggles, but everybody is, sucking dick in their free time. I'm not the only one. Yeah.
So do they have a WhatsApp group?
No, not yet. But they sure have my WhatsApp. So yeah.
We have. No, this is my question. Is there a song or a video that you want to make, but something holds you back? It's a bit of a meta question.
No.
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 You just do everything.
Well, I wanted to do something. At first, it was like a cover, and I saw Britney Spears when she walked with a snake. So I was like, okay, I'm afraid of snakes, but I want a snake around my neck, and I want a man between my legs.
Yes.
And I was like, no, my family's going to kill me. And I was like, okay, then kill me. So I did it. So that was the only thing. So I had the snake, and the snake was like 4 meters, and there was like this man. Okay. He was laying between my legs, and I put like perfume and everything. He was laying there for 20 minutes. But that was the only thing I was afraid to do, and I already did it. So.
Are you? If you are afraid, it is. Is it mostly because you think like, ooh, my family?
Well, so my mom's family is very easy. They're like not open-minded, but they don't say anything. But my dad's family, they are like the worst.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, I don't like them. They are just very strict, like with their religion, and they wanted me to marry a girl, and I wasn't even allowed to go to my father's funeral. I still went. But yeah, because it was like in a mosque, and well, my father has a lot of children, and they were like, somebody has to wash him, and it has to be a boy because girls and boys are separated in the mosque. And none of my brothers wanted to do it, so I was like, that's the last thing that I can do for him.
Yeah.
So let me do it. And then his sister, she said to me, well, you're not allowed to come because if you do it, he will go to hell. So then I still went, but like that was not that I was afraid to do it, but it was more like they always had like an opinion, but other than that, they don't care about my life.
It's quite painful.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, what am I going to do now? Do I go to the mosque and I don't know what's going to happen because my aunt coming, they were also like, I literally got like a gun to my head. And then I was like, yeah, when I came out. But then I was like, okay, let me buy a big ass hat. So I bought like a hat like this and I walked into the mosque
Yes.
and they were all like looking like this. But I was like, you're supposed to come to my side of the mosque because we were separated.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
there was like this thing that she could see me and I was like, hey ho, how you doing? And it was the last time I saw her, so I hope she sees this. So yeah, that was my story.
Yes.
But so it was not that I was afraid of them, but more like one other time I did an interview with the Hitkrant, and the Hitkrant has like a comment section on their website, and one person of my family, she wrote a whole message about me on the website, and it was so ghetto, and yeah, how I was lying, and I don't know.
But does this person also want to be famous?
I think so. Nobody wants to see her face.
That's really sad.
It is.
Yeah.
So yeah, should I do the last question?
Yeah, that's it. Last
Yeah.
question.
What was the most beautiful project that you ever did and why?
I think I already. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I think I already talked about this with the elderly people. It was like,
Did you release it already? Or?
yeah, but it's like film wise, it's very straightforward because it's just a group of dancing old people.
I want to see it.
Yeah, you can see it. I don't know, but I can send you it. But it's also dance for lives. Yeah, it's just
Cool.
it's all like,
And when was it again? Did you see it?
it was in the Hermitage. I think it was an event of COC Amsterdam.
And when?
Last year, last summer.
During COVID.
Yes. So it was in this very big hall in the Hermitage, so in this very posh building.
Sorry, are you French?
No.
Oh, okay. No, because I heard that Hermitage, everything. I didn't have those.
I studied with a lot of French people which were talking English. So
Okay, got
I
it.
think that infected my
Okay.
English as well.
Okay, cool.
That was the question,
Yeah.
and I think we are also time-wise on the end. Sorry, we did not get any questions from you.
Oh,
No.
yeah. Oh, yeah. Sorry. I had a Moscow meal today. So.
Thank you very much for
Yeah,
for
thank
being
you.
here.
Thank you for being here. There's another event starting at 9:30, 9 o'clock, first floor. But it's there's in between a little time, so you're
8:30
more than
or
welcome. Yeah?
8:30 or 9:30?
Oh, 8:30. 8, I think it's 9. Maybe. So feel welcome and free to come. It's 1 4 up. It's